After about 4 years, Mazda canned the MX30 EV. Unsurprising, given the limited 124-mile range, awkward rear hinge doors and cramped interior, which failed to win over many drivers. Shame really, as it was cracking to drive and reasonably priced. Even the addition of a range extender variant did little to change opinion. So when the time came to replace the discontinued and beloved Mazda 6, the Japanese brand decided to chuck out the petrol engine and turn to one of China's 4 automotive giants, Changan, to get it to market quicker. Question is, has it lost its Mazda-ness? It's called the 6E, no surprises there, and it arrives in the UK in June next year. We've got a left-hand drive example from Switzerland to test for you today. UK pricing and specification will be revealed later, but here's what we do know. Mazda fans will love it, with the company's familiar design motifs all correct and present, such as the 4 round lights at the back and winged grille. Plus, these lights down here flutter according to the state of charge, which is going to really piss off your neighbours at night time when it's lit up like a Christmas tree, or any Amazon driver with epilepsy. Other online and more ethical retailers are available, but no one cares about that anymore. Anyway, I digress. There's also a floating deployable spoiler, which pops up at 90 and down at 50 kilometers an hour, unless you're in sport mode and it's up the whole time, or car wash mode and it's down the whole time, obviously. It's a proper hatchback, even though it's dressed up to look like a saloon, and with 466 litres, sizing for the UK yet to be confirmed, it's big enough to get loads of shit in, or even my entire self, almost. Wheels are available in 19-inch only. Well, that's the case in Europe, but it's likely to be carried over to the UK too. And it's opted for these stupid on-trend aerodynamic handles, but I do like the frameless doors, which make it feel more like a coupe. The standard range has a 68.8 kilowatt-hour LFP battery and a 258 horsepower motor driving the rear wheels. It has an official range of 299 miles and you can charge it up to 265 kilowatts. Then there's the long range version, which instead uses an 80 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery and has an extra 46 miles. So far, so good. But it's paired with a less powerful motor and only charges at up to 90 kilowatts, which is pretty bloody woeful. Mazda says it's because the smaller LFP battery can supply and take more power without the risk of overheating. All you need to know is that it costs more. It takes a ludicrous 47 minutes to charge from 10 to 80%, and it's 0.2 seconds slower to 62 miles an hour, taking 7.8 seconds. Although it shares its skateboard underpinnings with the Deepal, engineers claim that the 6E's steering, brake and suspension have been built to feel like a Mazda, which in theory means that it should be sportier than average, feel intuitive and responsive. And for the main part, I'd agree. It's rear-wheel drive with almost 50-50 weight distribution and multi-link suspension. And it rides and handles pretty well. It's quiet too, with little road or wind noise, and it feels a lot better than some of its rivals through the corners, with little body roll and an eagerness to change direction. The steering's quick rack does a brilliant job of hiding the car's mass, which is almost 2 tons. And despite some of the reports I've read which say that it has an odd disconnected feel, I'd actually disagree. It's also possible to adjust the brake regen levels, however, only through the touchscreen and only in individual mode. In normal and sport modes, the regen level can't be adjusted. Talking of using the touchscreen, Mazda also saw sense to tell us that they used the shortcut buttons here on the steering wheel for windscreen wipers and lights, something that wasn't done on the Deepel launch and I couldn't find them. There's the familiar Takumi trim with loads of kit and the Takumi Plus with even more kit. So when in individual mode, and I have pulled over so that I can safely use my screen, Mazda, if you did your brake regen on the paddles, I wouldn't have to do this. You can change your coasting recovery strength from low to standard, medium or high. You can also change power assist steering mode from standard to sport or power style from medium to strong. It's all rather lovely inside, comfortable with swaths of leather and suede, and if you go for the Takumi Plus edition, which is what we have, you get these gorgeous tan seats and electric sunroof, but you soon start to realise it all feels very un-Mazda. For a brand...
What would you like to do?
You then also realise that it's got Changan S07's infotainment system, which, if you watch my last review, you'll see that I slated. Anyway, for a brand that has long resisted touchscreens and championed physical controls, they've sold out. Beyond the window switches, pretty much everything else goes through this 14.6-inch display. And with its pointless gesture control and Siri-like voice assistant that interrupts you as often as a child does, even completing a simple task becomes incredibly frustrating. It's all very Changan.
Sorry, it is not supported yet either.
As if on cue. For those sitting in the back, it all feels rather light and airy thanks to that aforementioned panoramic sunroof. And despite the fact it's got a sloping rear roofline and a fairly high floor, I've got loads of head and leg room. Now, as well as changing the temperature of the aircon, I can also open and close the sunroof blind, but I can also move the driver's seat front and back to give myself even more leg room. Now the thing is, when your child discovers they have control over this, it's going to annoy the shit out of you. I really feel like this is a bad idea. We don't have the official price yet. Mazda were very tight-lipped about that. But in Europe, the 6E standard range starts at €44,900. That's roughly around 39,000 British pounds. That makes it a compelling alternative when stacked up against rivals like the Tesla Model 3, BMW i4 and Volkswagen ID.7. Whilst one variant offers an average range, the other promises more, but it's slow to charge, less powerful and costs more. Its infotainment system is also a bit of a letdown, glitchy, confusing, and it lacks physical controls. But there is plenty to like. It looks fantastic, it has a spacious and luxurious cabin, and it delivers a refined, smooth and engaging drive. In that respect, it's much better than the Changan Deepel S07. If it lands below the £40,000 mark, it could easily position itself as a serious contender in the electric hatchback market. This is Mazda's second attempt at going electric, and it feels like a major leap forward compared to the MX30. Whether the long-awaited Mazda 6E, developed in partnership with Changan, can help revive the brand remains to be seen. Drop a comment with your thoughts. Is this Mazda's comeback in the EV space?